Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, gig workers out there. If you can hear me, let me know by giving me a thumbs up in the chat. If you're watching the replay, let me know you're watching the replay. What a week it's been. Got a few new things to go over, some gig news, my week review. We'll go over that as well. I see many people in the chat already. Appreciate y'all very much. I turned 44 today, so we'll have a little celebratory time, maybe. I don't know. That's up to y'all. Not a big deal. 44 is 44. It is what it is. But interesting week. Back to back, pretty good, profitable weeks for me in my marketplace. And I'm going to tell you why I think that's happening. But I want to touch on something that I heard, a video I made, I believe, yesterday. Some DoorDash quarter 3 results impacting the stock price of the DoorDash app. I want to talk about some things that I really didn't get into in yesterday's video, but I'm going to share some clarity, but then also just tell you why I'm disgusted by some things that I heard. So, yeah, let me see. Let me make sure the chat's running okay here. All right. What up, Big Carl? What up, bro? Jessica, what up? Happy birthday. Yeah, appreciate all the birthday wishes. Thank you so much. I'm 44. I'll talk about what I did today and how that was kind of awesome. So we'll get to that in a minute as well. I think you guys can hear me because if I'm not, you guys would have said so already. Appreciate all that. All right, listen. Okay. 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 First, today I got to give a shout out to some of my really my best some of my best friends. Had lunch with 3 of my best friends today. Jeff, Walter, Mark. I love you guys so much. I appreciated the lunch, the hanging out, the conversations. Um, it was a great day today. I'll say that. So I love you, brothers. I got to say that today was amazing. I appreciate you guys for spending some time with me on my 44th birthday, and I got to get that out the way first, okay? And I had dinner with the fam a little bit later with Madison and Ruby, so that was good too. Manny, appreciate the 5, bro. Appreciate that, man. We're the same age. Hey, there you go. 44 is a good year, right? 43 to 44 was wild for me for many reasons, but hey, man, I appreciate that love. I'll put it up on the screen for you. All right. So everybody in the chat, I appreciate y'all. I'll say hi in just a minute. Um, okay, so first, let's talk about this week. Okay, let's talk about this week. Good earnings week. And I'm going to tell you why it was good. And I've been talking about this for the last several months, but sometimes new people drop in, or I want to give updates if you've missed some of the regular form content. Some of you guys really only come to the lives because you like the live chat, you like the lives and all that. We made $1,500 this week. I did one order yesterday that came in late Friday. It paid $52 on the app, Expedite, and the guy gave me $20 cash tip. So I added $72 to my earnings to bring me a little over $1,500 for the week. And I really only worked 5 days. I mean, I worked yesterday, but it was an hour of my time. I made $72. Really good work week as far as money goes for the time that I was out. This is why. We hit the 4 Emerald tier level on the Expedite catering app, and I did 11 deliveries in basically 5 days with that app. I've never had a week where I've had that many deliveries on that particular catering app. 3 days out of the week, no, 3 days, 2 days out of the week I had 3. One day I did 4. Yesterday, one day I did like 2, and then 2, and then yesterday I did 1. I did 11 or 12 this week. That's where the earnings really were different for me. Over $500 in earnings was just on the catering app. A lot of weeks I do 1,000, 1,100, 1,200. I don't push it, but that's kind of like 1,000 is my minimum. It's just my minimum, right? Just for me, for various reasons, my budget. Adding an extra $500 basically to my week and not having to work like more at all, game changer. So a lot of you guys out there, when I talked about trying another app, getting another app, taking advantage of whatever programs in there, tier or not, yeah, I mean, I've seen some success with that app, and I'm very, very grateful for that. So I share that. I'm not bragging or boasting. Listen, it's not a lot of money. It's not world-changing money, but incrementally, if you can add revenue to your week and not have to work more, that's where we want to be, right? So just a little bit of update on that. I still haven't done any DoorDash yet. Still have the app, still active on the app. I signed up for a brand new account. If you know, you know. I have not done any dashes yet. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but we'll figure it out. Because basically, I don't want to spend time on an app that isn't going to feed me more than a $5 to $7 average when I could be doing a lot more cash flow on apps like Instacart or catering or even sometimes Uber Eats, right? So I don't want to spend on an average when you're doing a DoorDash order, it's 20 to 25 minutes per order, right? On average, that's just what it is. I know that in St. Louis. So why give that app my time when I could make 4 to 5 times more on another order, right? So if I did it, it would just be for a video. So let me say hi to anybody that's here. Appreciate the 49 that are building. Hit that thumbs up. It's my birthday. I turned 44 today. Let's see. Let's go to the top. I see Sabat in the house. I see Andrew Garcia, Mindset Manny. Appreciate all the channel members. What's up, y'all? Blue Wolf. I don't think I'm saying that wrong, but that's how it looks to me. PPP. I see Canada Club. What up? What up? Jessica. What up? What up? Big Car. What up? Toya. What up? Andrew Garcia, AMC, what up, man? Joy, all right. Roy, what's up? I see April Bean. I see who else is in here? Who else is in here? Mindset. Appreciate the 5 again, brother. Any other new faces? George, what up? What up? Appreciate that. Thomas, what's up, man? How you doing? Trying to say hi to everybody. Also, form is content. Appreciate that. Yeah, all the happy birthday wishes. Appreciate that. Yo, Mr. Petty on you. What up, finance? What's up? Chuck E. Cheese. What up? I'm in Jefferson City, and with a small car, I can usually do several orders per hour. But I don't know if my car is big enough to really do Instacart. You don't need a big car to do Instacart, right? But there will be some things you'll be limited, but it doesn't mean that you can't make money with it. But it helps to have a bigger vehicle for sure if you're going to do that. If you're doing Costco runs and things like that, if you're doing regular grocery stores, you don't need a big car. Right? If you're doing Costco and Sam's, it helps, but it's not necessary. Matt with 1T. What up, Manny? What's up, Matt with 1T? How you doing? My car is the size of a smart car. Smart car? Ooh, then I don't know about that. You be selective in what you can choose, right? So appreciate everybody for being in here. All right. All right. Without further ado, I made a video yesterday talking about, and I saw some comments in the video. I saw some comments in the live stream talking about, I was disgusted by some things that I heard people say, comments. I even put a community post up. And 65, I believe, almost 70% of the people that voted that they want to see DoorDash burn, meaning burn to the ground. It's a horrible app. Fuck DoorDash. I don't want DoorDash, blah, blah, blah. The horrible. I wish they go away. Why? So over the last basically year or so, calendar year, which is just, there's 4 quarters in a year, right? And they have these quarterly earnings statements. And around that time, the stock will go up or down based on the earnings report and the analyst and what they think the current state, and then the expectation of what the company's saying, and then the expectation of holders. And so over the last year, it's gone up. It's still up versus last year, I think close to 20%. We're talking about the share price here. And that has a lot to do with the buying power and or confidence of the company to move within the industry. It went down 17% this week. And there were people that were happy about that. People in this community that are like wanting the company to have failure. I'm disgusted by that. So I'm gonna ask you guys, what do we gain? And that's, I don't love DoorDash. I don't push for them. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not saying, yeah, DoorDash, yay. I call them out when I need to. But what do we gain by a company's failures? I'm going to pose that question and put some of the answers. Please answer them up on the screen. What do we gain as a gig worker community by an app failing? Why would we be celebrating that with a smirk on our face? Why would we think that's a good thing? Because we don't like them and what they do, we want them to fail. Wouldn't that impact the millions of drivers? Isn't that anti-driver to want an app to fail? Let me read some comments. Okay, I'll go with the first one right here. Roy. The people that want DoorDash to fail are the same people who made a poor life choice to do it and didn't work for them. There could be some truth there. There could be a subset of individuals that it didn't work for them. So now because it didn't work for them, they want the app to fail. And then in return, Roy and everybody else, that means drivers would fail. That's anti-driver. I'm taking a hard stance here. I don't understand why people are celebrating, laughing and smirking because DoorDash had lost 17% of its. They feel like because so the people that have shares now are impacted, which I'm not as I don't have any DoorDash shares. I'll say that publicly. So they lose 17% of their earnings, not their earnings, their shares, right? Which is there's monetary value and portfolios that are attached to that. But that could at some point, if DoorDash continues to fail and the stock price goes down, what do you think they're going to do? Maybe cut the base pay, maybe cut opportunity, maybe there's not enough people in orders to go around. They shut up shop, they get bought, things change. Why would people want DoorDash to fail? I'll read some more comments here in a minute. What up, AMC? Appreciate the $9.99, brother. I'll get to that comment in a minute. Okay, I want to read a few other ones. A better company could fill their spot. Possible. Who would come along and fill their spot? And do you think if Amazon or whoever bought them, you really think they're going to do better than DoorDash? Maybe with something. So I'll take that as a possibility. Okay. DoorDash bought out Deliveroo, and that was part of it. They're spending a lot of money on autonomy and then buyouts of companies. So their money's a little. People don't like where the money's going, right? I don't want them on my apps I use because they treat us like crap. Okay, so because the app treats you like crap, Jessica, you want them to fail. But doesn't that impact drivers? If I snap my finger like that Thanos and half the world's dead, or if I snap my fingers and DoorDash goes away, what do you think happens to the other apps? They become then now even more saturated because the DoorDash drivers are still going to have to work. So now they're going to be doing more Uber, they're going to do more Instacart, more Spark. The apps that you like or like more or making money with are now going to be flooded with the DoorDash drivers that don't have DoorDash anymore. Right? That's my rationale behind it. They used to have the better quarter in his. So Thomas says they just had their best quarter in their history, though, too. Yes, as far as overall order value and earnings, they did, but for the perspective and their and because they didn't meet certain expectations that DoorDash set up, that's why the stock price went down. But you are right, they did. And shouldn't we want that? Regardless if we love what they do and how they treat us, shouldn't we want the app to be successful so that you can continue to have opportunity? What else we got in here? Also, Foreman's concept says, what if I want DoorDash to fail but Grubhub to succeed since it's less exploitive? If DoorDash fails, Grubhub can't succeed for you personally, because where are the DoorDash drivers going to go if they fail? I want you to think about, let's think bigger picture here, right? That's my question. AMC, appreciate the $9.99, bro. Appreciate that. Roy loves DoorDash. I don't think Roy's done a DoorDash in quite a bit. Maybe he loves it. Let's see who else we got in here. Answer that question, y'all. Do you guys really think a multi-billion-dollar Diecast, what I mean, do you guys really think a multi-billion-dollar company cares about you? Measly 17% loss. I don't actually. I think there's actually sometimes long-term benefits to a 17% loss at this point. The 17% is hefty. But my question is, why are we celebrating that? Why are people in this community leaving comments, voting, making videos, and talking about that they almost like that happened? Like they're looking forward to the day when DoorDash fails. That is disgusting to me. And in my opinion, I take a hard stance on things. I'm not always right about things. I've been wrong several times. Sometimes I'm right. You know what I mean? But I take a hard stance. I draw lines in the sand. We can agree. We can disagree. My opinion is that's anti-driver. Anybody that wants DoorDash to fail is short-sighted. They're dealing with their emotion and they want something for themselves without thinking about the 5 or 6 million people that have DoorDash and the workers and the restaurants that rely on DoorDash to keep their business going, the people that work it. Like, I just think to me, it's disgusting when I see content creators and people in this community and fellow drivers rooting for the demise of an app that they use or that they promote or that they have used just because they don't like how they operate their business. I think to me that is despicable, disgusting behavior. I take hard stances here. Y'all know that. All right. It's crazy to me that people would say these type of things. Like, am I missing something here? Like it's very odd to me. Hit that thumbs up. Appreciate that. It's my birthday today. Let me see. Let me see. My point exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. The only people that hate DoorDash is the non-adapters. I mean, I don't know about that. I don't love DoorDash. I'm not a DoorDash fanboy. I took DoorDash out of my middle name on YouTube. It used to be Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Now it's Pedro Mr.BetonYou Santiago. So I'm not a loyalist to any one app, right? However, I understand millions of people eat off this app. And if they fail, that can't happen, right? And I want people to eat. I want everybody to be good. Cray Cray, what up, girl? How you doing? A member for 28 months. Everybody say what's up to Cray Cray now. How you doing, girl? Always a pleasure. I appreciate the birthday wishes. Thank you so much. Never let your emotions cloud your thinking, guys. Yeah, I just don't understand why people are celebrating channels that are for drivers, celebrating the demise of an app that employs or gives opportunity to millions of Americans in this country. It is disgusting, despicable. I'm just really like it's crazy that people do this. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Facts can you can hate them all you want, but to want them to not to go out of business and fail is it's wild to me. You know, it's just it's it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed as a fellow content creator that people are out here like laughing and smirking and making light of like the fail. I can't wait till they fail. I'm expecting them to fail and like rooting for them to fail. Like it's crazy to me. Whether it's Uber or any company, like it's such a short term, short sighted way of looking at the gig economy and the people that work in it and make money. And you know what I'm saying? I am going to have the StreamYard link up if anyone wants to join in, right? That's kind of what I have on my mind. Why are we so? Is it that we are just like so selfish? I don't know. I'm a pretty selfish person sometimes in my life. I got to admit. Okay, when I'm making money, I am thinking about myself. But there's also a part of me I want other drivers to do well, have success. That's part of the reason why I have this channel. I love when I run into people and they're like, "Hey man, thanks for your channel. I used to watch. It helped me during a time I needed it." That happens to me every week, a couple times a week, right? People that used to watch a couple years ago, people that still currently watch. I see a comment. I understand I am helping some people, and that is fantastic because this work, it sucks. You're by yourself, right? Things change. You want some perspective. You want to get a little bit better. I can do that. So when I see people talking or cheering for a demise of an app that millions of people use, it's like, what? Just because we don't like Tony, because we don't like $1 and $2 base pay, because we don't like that they high tips, we want the app to fail and go away. So then millions of people now don't have an opportunity. What are we talk like? What are we doing here? Like, huh? It's crazy. I'm conscious good. What up, Lynn? How you doing? I can't wait for the link. Uh-oh. So you guys got some opinions on that? That's kind of what I have. You know, Manny, Roy, you guys are welcome to come up. I'll share it in just a minute. I just, I think it's like, I don't know. And I've been part of this community now for almost 5 years. I've been making YouTube videos for 5 years. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've had battles and dramas with people. I've said inappropriate things at times. I haven't always handled myself right on YouTube. But I have learned from my mistakes. But the one thing I can say I've done, I am for the people. I'm for the drivers. I want drivers to have success. I might make jokes like, "Oh, these top dashers or this," or when we had top dasher, and you should never take a $2 order. That's in fun and games. I don't agree with it, but I still want them to have success. And I'm passionate about people and the decisions that they make on the apps is because I believe, from my experience at least, if you do things a certain way incrementally over the weeks, the months, the years, you'll probably make more money. And the more low paying orders you take, no tip orders you take, the more time you spend on things that you don't want to do. Over the course of time, you're losing out on opportunities, and opportunities equal dollars. But like, to hear and see people talk about, I can talk crap on these apps. I do it. I got thousands of videos talking about what they do bad. I'm not a fan of DoorDash. I think they got a lot of things they can fix on these apps, a lot of things they could do better, but they never will. I just voice my opinion on them and I give it what it is. But I don't want them to go. I don't want them to fail, because if they fail, we fail. I want you to think about that for a minute. If DoorDash went away, if they somehow, if all these lawsuits that are against them, they had to pay them all, and then all the app, their pocketbooks were impacted, their stock price went down, the investors stopped giving money, and they couldn't do autonomous this, they couldn't do this, they couldn't continue to grow, because if they grow, because they still will need us, that's more opportunities for us. It doesn't mean they're always going to be great, but we want opportunity. But if they just go away, Thanos, snap the finger, the DoorDash app goes away, people tomorrow that use DoorDash to make money would not be able to earn. So my fellow gig drivers in whatever state they live in would be in a hard spot. And I'm not saying I'm not gonna cry me a river for them, kind of like, oh, they got to figure it out. I do believe in personal responsibility. You got to figure things out. I talk about that a lot, and I have for a number of years. However, that doesn't mean the reality would be people would not eat. Like, it would be tough. And then if they have other apps, as they should, now the apps that you love, like Instacart and Roadie and Uber and your catering apps, now they're going to become oversaturated, because those same DoorDash drivers, they can't dash now, so they're going to Uber Eats now, they're going to Instacart now, they're going to Spark. So what happens to those apps that you're earning money on? You're going to earn less money. We're not going to see an influx of orders all the time right away. More people now would, if they couldn't order DoorDash, yeah, they'll order Uber and things like that, but you're going to lose opportunity and you're going to lose money. So to root for the demise of a company, for them to go away, not want change. Change is one thing. That could be, it is what it is, but it's still a pipe dream, because there's only so much we can do. We're not employees, right? But to want them to fail means you want drivers to fail. Maybe somebody wants to come up and tell me that I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at this from a different type of lens that's a little murky, and maybe I'm the petty one here. Maybe my emotions have got the best of me. Hit that thumbs up, proper. I appreciate y'all. But I'm gonna put the link in a minute. I think it's weird. All right, all right. Dominique, what up, man? He says, if you are a certain age and don't understand you shouldn't rely on something so unreliable, I don't feel bad for you. I don't disagree with that necessarily. I don't disagree with that. But think about this. My point is, if we're not worried about the people that, if you rely on it, like I've always said, this shouldn't be 100. I don't recommend this being 100% of your income for a long period of time. I think at some point, the majority of you, maybe not all, there's outliers. I've said this 1,000 times on this channel. I do not recommend this being all of your money, right? But if it is right now and that gets taken away, that's a gut punch. That sucks. Most people doing this work have to work just about every day and do what they got to do, because if they miss a week or two of work, they're in a bad spot to pay bills. Most Americans can't survive $1,000 car repair. These are statistics. These are facts, right? And most delivery drivers, especially if you're doing DoorDash, okay? Think about the average person doing that and what they're making and what the car they're driving. Like, so to want an app to fail, it's crazy. But to my point, if DoorDash fails, the other apps that you're doing good on, Dominique or Manny or Roy or Chris or Jeffrey or Canada Club or The Frog Show or Cray Cray, your other apps are now going to become more saturated than the DoorDash app. So a lot of us left DoorDash. We don't do it. We keep it on just a little bit. You know, I used to make $500 a week. No, I make $50 a week or $100, whatever it is, right? It's not your number one app anymore, as it should not be. However, the other apps now it's going to be harder for you to make money on the apps you're currently doing okay with, and you're going to be pissed off. So my last statement before I put the link up for anybody that wants to talk about this, or if you got something else on your mind, we need DoorDash. As much as we hate them, we need them. Do things need to change? Yes. Over time, will they? I have no idea. Maybe some legislation comes in. We've seen some things, but at the end of the day, if they just go away because they failed and you get what you want because you hate the app and it's just it's going to impact everything else that gig workers do. That's how powerful they are. So I'm embarrassed some of the things that I heard people say, and like and how they reacted to the 17% loss of share. It's like, what? We're celebrating the gig economy's king because they're the top dog in the gig. We're celebrating failure in the area that we want success for ourselves. And in order for us to have success, we do need the apps, right? Maybe y'all don't agree with that, and that's okay. So let me put the link up. I appreciate y'all. Hit that like button, hit the share, all that good shit. All right. I'm gonna put the link up in just a second. Hold on, let me go back here. I don't know, man. I see certain things and I hear things. And it's like, why am I seeing so many comments and people are like celebrating DoorDash failure, wanting them to fail even more? And I remember there was people a couple years ago saying they're only going to be around one more year. It's a scam. It's a fraud, and they're still around and they're bigger than ever. They're not better, but they're bigger, right? So it's just, I don't know, man. Like the way I look at the apps, you got to use them to your advantage for however long you want to use them. You're not going to like everything, but like it's almost like if you're a W-2 employee and you work at a place, okay? Excuse me, and you don't like where you work, okay? You just don't like your boss, you don't like what they're paying you, all the things that we don't like about DoorDash, right? Or any of the apps. You don't like it, but you're W-2, right? It's no different in that W-2 employee, whether you just got fired or you're still there and you're collecting a check. It'd be like you going in the break room and I wish this place blows up. I hate how they treated me here or treat us here. I don't want this to even exist. So then that means your teammates, your coworkers, the community you live in, you want those people to, you're okay with them also being impacted by a loss of that business. It's despicable and it's disgusting. It's just like it's wild that people would cheer and want that. I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm overthinking this. I tend to do that sometimes, but I put it out on YouTube, and you guys could tell me what I'm missing and what I'm picking up on, right? All right, so I'm gonna put the link up in just 1 second here. There it is. I'll go ahead and pin it. It'll be up at the top. If you got something else on your mind, but that's the top. Like, should we be as gig drivers, delivery drivers, should we be rooting for the demise of the companies we worked or work for because we don't like what they do? Should we want them to go away and have failure? That's the topic. Okay. So let me go ahead and pin this link real quick. April, how you doing? So if you want to join the show and give and chime in here, because I've already talked for what 27 minutes about this basically, feel free to join the show. I'll read some comments while people are popping in. I see a couple already. I'll get you guys in a minute. I don't want DoorDash to go down. Okay. Let me see what else we got. The game is a snooze fest, says April. Okay. My Bears won today. Second week in a row. Fourth quarter comeback. Whoop. Happy birthday to me. That was fantastic seeing that. Hell yeah. All the shit. The Frogster says, right on, Pedro. That stock dump is a lesson for DoorDash, and it's all going to be better, or just step out of gig work. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Do I think DoorDash? I don't want to run their. Okay, listen. There are a lot of smarter people with degrees and business acumen that I do not have. Okay, running that company. Do I agree with everything? No, but it's theirs. They can do what they want. Can I have an opinion on it? Absolutely. But they can do what the fuck they want. But will they learn? Yeah. Do I think maybe they're putting too much money in autonomy and this and that? Sure. But what do I know? I don't know what their future 5, 10, 20-year plans are, right? But I do not want them to fail. That's not good for us, right? That's not good for us. It's crazy to me, man. All right. Did you hear certain Dashers get invited to the headquarters in San Francisco? Supposedly all expense paid. Yeah, I know that there's a community council, and I know in the past years, I don't know if they still do it. Some of those community council people would go out there as part of that being invited into that. I don't know if they still do that. Maybe you're talking about that. Maybe there's something else. I don't know. I'm not up to date with all the stuff that's happening there. But all right, so I see Roy, I see Mindset Manny, I see AMC, I see Monkey. All right, I'm gonna bring all you guys up. I'll let you guys kind of go round and round. Give me your thoughts. I've talked enough. I want to hear from you guys. What's your perspective on this? You guys know what we're talking about here. Roy, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Manny, what's up, brother? How are you?
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that.
Like I told you in that super chat, man, we the same age, man. My birthday was Halloween, man.
Ah, you're a Scorpio too then, right?
Yeah.
See, I knew that we got along for some reason. All right. Let me see AMC's in here. AMC, can you hear us?
What up,
yeah,
Roy?
man. Dude,
What's
happy
up, man?
birthday, man. Just gotta tell you, man, this space would not be anything without you, bro. You're holding it down. God bless you. Happy birthday, bro.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. There's a lot of other great people in here too. Monkey,
who's that kissing your ass? Who's that kissing your ass?
That's AMC, man. That's my boy.
Okay, gotcha.
He's making it too. Oh, hold on. Let me get. Oh, there he is. Monkey, can you hear us?
What's
Yeah,
up,
I'm
y'all?
here.
What's up, man?
All
I
right.
beat you. I
All
beat you. I
right.
was quicker on the stick, man.
All right, so I'll start with Roy. Roy, so what do you think about kind of like my take on this? People just, wanting the app to fail and the demise of it and kind of celebrating it. Like, am I wrong here? Am I missing something? I know that you don't hold any punches, so give me your thoughts.
No, you're absolutely right. And like I said in my comment, I think it's because you got a bunch of butthurt ass drivers that weren't able to make it work for them. And so this gives them kind of a way out because their own shitty ass decision to do DoorDash, excuse my language, to do DoorDash, they weren't able to be successful at it. So now it gives them a way out to say, hey, look, DoorDash ain't doing as good as everybody thinks they're doing, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, shit like that. And also it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Maybe it'll let them lose some market share, lose some stuff. Maybe then they'll start treating drivers a little better. They don't want to look at it from a good way, but chances are they're not going to do any better. But it is what it is. You know, you can't make gig workers happy, bro. We already know this. You can give them everything and anything. They ain't going to be happy. But I just think it's a bunch of disgruntled ass drivers that couldn't hang, and that's all it is. Just unhappy workers. That's all.
Cray, appreciate the 10. The Frog Show, appreciate the 10. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that very much. Not necessary, but I do thank you. Me and my family will use that wisely.
But we already know drivers don't care about other drivers. So all these people wishing it would go away, they don't give a fuck about their fellow drivers, bro. We know this.
Well, I would disagree a little bit. I think there are some people that care about the success of other people, and cause I do think the more drivers you have that are earning good money or having a good experience on a new app that they're trying, like maybe Manny's really like an Expedite, so then that makes, he feels more valued, he's giving good service. That can trickle down into the rest of the people working that app. But the more drivers we have having a bad experience, not making money, wrongful deactivation, whatever, right? They don't that then sometimes bleeds into the service that they give, how they treat the merchants. So I think we should want, and there are some drivers that want fellow gig workers to have success, because over the course of time, I think that benefits just the gig economy overall. That's how I look at it. Do I think the majority of us are like really caring about another driver? No, because we don't know them. But I think there's some people that realize the bigger picture and that they actually want other drivers to have a better experience than they're having, All right, Manny, what do you think, man? What do you think about people celebrating or the demise of an app and like losing stock shares? Like, what do you think about that?
Kind of the veto what Roy was saying, man. I feel like it's a bunch of individuals that, like you said, that weren't successful, or they don't have their game plans all the way together. They're experiencing a lot of different things on the app, and like you're saying, this kind of puts that highlight on their point. Oh, do you see, it ain't nothing. It
That's a
depends
good
on.
point. I'm glad you said that. It highlights how they feel. Yeah.
Yeah, it just does. You know what I mean? Just because they went down a little bit, but that's how the game goes. Especially when you're on top, you're gonna have a lot of you're gonna have a lot of haters. So I mean, I get it. Not all experiences are good, but it's just like to want someone or thing to just fail or whatever. I just think that's like that's harsh, like you were saying. As far as individuals caring about it, nah, man. Like we were saying, gig workers, man, they don't care about nothing but themselves. Hey, I didn't make no money today. Bump DoorDash. I didn't. But kind of to say what you were saying, like the other apps are gonna get saturated. I feel like there's a multitude of multi-appers. I feel as though most individuals multi-app. I feel like people are more multi-app than anything else because it says more money. I'm just being honest. So I feel as though if DoorDash did go down or didn't, I feel as though another app would take its place. I feel like Uber would just jump right up to the top. You know what I mean? They would just become top dog. I don't think another app would take over. I just think Uber Eats would just kill it. But other than that, hey, like I said, it's all about each individual's experience out here on these apps. You know what I mean? And DoorDash is the big guy, and a lot of people use it, so you're gonna get a lot of the hate. You know what I mean? Hey, that's all. That's all I have to say on it on the matter.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something to be said there. AMC, what do you think, man? Do you think we should be rooting for the demise of these gig apps and the failures that they have?
Rooting for it. I mean, this was bound to happen though because they made a lot of they're investing in autonomy, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, dude, we're talking about $13 billion just vanished. It's a lot of bread, bro. You know, that's a lot of money, man. 13 billion. That's a lot of bread.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, people are gonna, man. I mean, the same thing happened with Charlie Kirk, bro. You know, they live in a different reality, dude. So it's like, look, man, like for me, you see, I've like as much as like I still run all the apps, bro. I still got Uber, I got Grubhub, I got Instacart, I got your favorite ones. It doesn't matter, like whatever consumer chooses to order on, I'm most likely on it. So, recently I ran into a guy that vouches for DoorDash. Like I don't know if you've seen this. There's a new phenomenon. Like people saying like, oh no, like DoorDash is the best. Like I'm not trying to multi-app. Like I'll be doing the shopping pays. I'll be doing 40 items for $40 and this and that. I'm like, dog, you're doing 3 drops for 40 items. That whole order's taking you 2 hours to an hour and a half. Like you're not measuring your time. You're not, there's also there's a lot of people that need a reality check on every side of this dialogue when it comes to this company, when it comes to making money like this. Cause it's like, dude, the best thing you could do is make it work for yourself, right? Like what you preach. It's kind of getting out of like the topic a little bit, but it's like, dude, I mean, I want to talk about what's gonna happen soon with their investments, like the reason why they dropped so much. I'm sure and then what are they gonna? They're gonna start digesting Deliveroo in Europe.
Right.
So it's like, that's going to be a whole other thing. And then they're changing the programs, man. I'm excited to see this. Like, I can't wait till we don't have to do 80% AR anymore. I want to see what all these drivers do because I'm seeing like market wide right now. There's people that have extremely long wait times now. If they're not platinum, like the game is about to change and they're pushing, they're the leader, right? And all the other apps follow suit. So, yeah, man. I mean, yeah. Like how people feel about it, what they want to say about it, bro. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's almost like I want to talk about like I wish we could talk about something else, but yeah, man, it's all good, bro.
We have some time. We might be able to get into something else, but I think Monkey
Yeah,
dropped out. I got him. Maybe he'll come back. Lynn, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Always a pleasure to see you. What do
And
you?
then everybody else. Hello, everybody on the
Yes,
panel
ma'am.
as well.
Hey.
Yeah.
Do you know what the topic is tonight, Lynn?
Yeah, I
What do you
sure
think about it?
do.
What do you think about it?
I'm a little conflicted.
Okay, give it to
Honest
me.
about
Give it to
that.
me.
I don't know how I feel. So many people are now in various markets, and it's not just okay, just few people that okay, I tried it and I can't do it. It's so many people, even a lot of old timers, OGs, and all that are saying, what is DoorDash doing? We keep, yeah, with all of the apps, we're seeing the cuts and the cuts and the cuts. Where like DoorDash is, they were new kids, but then they became number one and stayed there. And then the other apps, they trying to do what DoorDash does to try to get that number one spot again. But I'm seeing so many people that are saying, in this. So it can't all be somebody's doing it and they can't hack it. It's not, I'm conflicted because now for the ones that DoorDash is great in their market and they're the number ones or sometimes they're one and onlys. And but that's a smaller demographic that's like that. It's just getting to be so many that are saying, what am I doing this for? They are just chopping me. There's so many more upside down orders, I'm having to work the time to get what I used to make and all have, and, that. So, and then with the companies, they come up and they try to talk and they try to do things, but I hear a whole lot of gaslighting, and it's still not benefiting the majority of the drivers. And so that's what I'm saying. You're trying to say, oh no, you're seeing things the wrong way. And they're, smoking mirrors and stuff. So, I kind of don't feel, chopping and the whole thing should just go. But then on some levels, when I see so many people being affected, so many drivers and so many markets, I kind of say like, well, heck, yeah.
Can I kind of say something to that? Can I kind of say something to that?
Go ahead, man.
Okay, even in the W-2 world, you have upper achievers. You have people that just come to work a little bit, they don't put no effort in. Then you got people that come to work and they go from the regular worker almost to CEO. They go right up under the boss because their work ethics and things of such nature. So what I'm getting at here is like I understand you're kind of saying like the majority of individuals are not having a good time.
No, a
on
growing
these
number.
apps.
It's getting to be just such a growing number now.
But what I'm saying, it's the same here. I realized what you're saying because I have had to do a lot of adapting. I have had to, yes. I went from having to work only 9 hours to make the money I make now to about 12 hours to make the money I make now. But it is everyone, and I've said this 1,000 times, I'm going to say it again. You ain't at work. This ain't a W-2. This ain't no regular job. You have to do what you got to do. You cannot be comparing this to a W-2. You can't come out here with a W-2 mindset. That's the wrong mindset.
I'm nearly 7 years in it, so
you gotta come out here with a go-getter.
Newbie.
No, I'm just explaining. I'm talking about the majority. I'm talking about the majority of individuals that may not be having good opportunities out. A lot of individuals don't understand that. Like you were saying, your market, market dependent. I have to drive 30 to 40 minutes to my market. I don't my market around where I live is not a good one. So if you don't know that you gotta travel,
I did that.
You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of different adaptations out here. You know what I mean? I get it. And why I use the W-2 is because there's a lot of complaining, lazy people everywhere. And I'm not trying to say that people are just lazy, but you can't expect for the app to give you an easy way. Nothing gives you easy way. Not even a W-2.
What I said. I never
not you. No. I'm not speaking on you. I'm speaking on like you're saying, individuals that may not be like things are people because I've watched on YouTube as well. There's a new young lady going around right now, and she's just the only thing she's talking about is the bad times. That's all she's talking about right now is if you're doing this and you're going through this and everybody's just chiming in, she's getting her following is going way up, and I'm like the troll on her thing telling you could do this, no you could do that, you could do, and it's just like you're saying most individuals have a difficult time, but I like I was saying there's a lot of different mindsets as far as individuals that can transfer over into this very easy. Like I was telling people, UPS workers can do this easy. Truck drivers can transfer over into this very easy. Any type of truck driver, whether they're doing retail, grocery, these people cab drivers can transfer over into this very easy because they know the full setup of this. It's the same mock-up. So what I'm saying to you is I get it. Individuals coming from other work fields may not understand this and may not get it or may be experiencing things they ain't never experienced before, and there's a lot of people out there. So that's all.
Yeah, I'm saying a lot of us OGs.
They wanted to stay the same. They wanted to stay the same. I hear a lot of the OGs talking like that. They wanted to stay the same.
The ones that's coming in new and not really knowing and then not checking like maybe a neighboring market is better. Because that's what what I've been doing, I've been doing for years, is that there were certain times that in my market it was better, but then I would go to dinner in a market or two over. I know how to work the system, but then it started changing in those markets. I'm talking like the upside down orders
and
increased at such exponentially.
and
It was ridiculous, and
that's why I said,
found
even me
myself
myself
having to
personally,
do
I
double.
gotta work longer hours to make the regular money I was making. I
I
have
mean,
to
yeah,
work.
and it
I
put
work
so
longer
much
now.
more wear and tear on my car. The repairs and all came so much faster. And so what I did though, and what I try to tell people is that diversify in the type of gig economy. Gig
So I
economy
like
is
Pedro.
a
Pedro put me
vast,
on to that good person.
it
Pedro
is
put
so
me on.
vast. You don't have to just do delivery. You don't have to do, there's so much out there. There's some, I don't have to spend an ounce. I don't put a fraction. I don't put anything on my wear and tear. I'm not buying any gas. There are so many gigs type that require you drive and you stay in your house and do the gigs. There's a whole gig dedicated to apartment.
There's a lot. There's a like to
There's a
Lynn's point.
lot
There's a
of them.
lot,
There's some,
lot of gigs that people don't
yeah.
even know about, and
There's
they
secret
might be better for
shopping.
you.
There's,
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many kinds. So I
hundreds. Yep.
kind of transferred over away from delivery, but I've
That's great.
always been okay. Have so many apps here, but now I was always looking at somewhere else, something else in case the ones that I would count on fell
Yep.
off or deactivated me. I always had somewhere else I could go.
That's
So I'm
exactly
good
exactly what it's gonna be.
myself. So,
I want to get
but I'm saying so many people that was doing it so long, so
let me get my
long.
monkey here.
They
You
knew
there?
how to do. They knew how to work
Yeah, I'm
the
here.
system. They knew how. But then you saw the quality just
Yeah.
decrease. And then
Yeah,
I'm
I'm here.
not talking about like, yeah, there's some they could. They were able to make the adjustments and do well still and remain in the delivery
Yeah.
type sphere. I get that and I understand that the ones that can, but it's just, I mean, there are just so many that have been doing it and know how to hustle and grind and adapt and all. I'm seeing a lot of them that's
Yeah.
affected so
No, I hear you. I
severe.
hear you. I
And
want to get monkey.
so that's what I was talking about. Not the ones coming in and then not really knowing how to finesse, how to work the system. I get that they don't. And so that's what I'm conflicted about because I'm seeing so much more burnout with the older ones, so much burnout with the ones who know how to work. Yeah, and all. And it's great if you still are doing wonderful in your
Pedro.
markets or nearby markets, so you know how to do it and make what you need to make. That's beautiful.
Yep.
Hey, Pedro.
What up, AMC?
Happy birthday, man.
I appreciate that, man. Hey, monkey. What?
Yeah.
Give me some insight, man. Have you been listening to the topic tonight? What do you think about people, rooting or celebrating the failure of DoorDash?
To be honest, I mean, like everyone else said, it's just a bunch of disgruntled drivers, and I don't blame them. But at the same time, their issues and complaints are no different than any other fast food app. Fast food don't pay drivers very well, and it's never going to, because since we're tip based, some people don't realize how the average person tips, which is on a percentage base. Percentage on fast food is never going to equate to much of anything most of the time. You have to get more expensive orders, and some people don't want to diversify, or they're too stubborn about I don't want to shop or I don't want to do this, and it's no wonder they're upset and not making a lot and just think they keep getting cheated out of it. They're not really getting cheated. And then some people don't even realize that even when people try to be generous, DoorDash caps people's tips. just like Uber and Lyft do. They're only allowed to tip so much before it blocks them from tipping higher, unless they tip you in cash.
Mm. Yeah, I think I appreciate you bringing that point up, because I think we got to realize if somebody's ordering McDonald's and their bill's $30, let's just say, right?
Yeah.
And the suggested tip is $3. They left the tip, but then you're only going to get $4 or $5, and it's going, and they live 6 miles away, and you're 2 miles from McDonald's, so it's 8 miles for $4 or $5. Like, that's crazy. So we get upset even when customers tip because of the low subtotal, the low tip percentage, the low tip recommendation. But like, that's not on the customer. They're just doing what DoorDash is asking of them.
Yeah.
But we're dealing with such low volume orders that's like, what should we expect as a community? And I know Roy's talked about this, like, we expect $40-$50 an hour, but that's not really reality because of the job that we're doing, the low barrier of entry. So I think you bring up a good point about the type of deliveries that DoorDash offers, and what should we really expect? Or are we expecting too much? I don't know. You know,
I think some drivers are, because even if they got on Uber Eats or sometimes Grubhub, fast food's still gonna pay generally relatively the same. Sometimes, yeah, you get lucky, just like on DoorDash, but most of those are pretty awful. Because again, when you tip a percentage on groceries are vastly more expensive. That's why you see grocery deliveries vastly more expensive and paying way better. Even if you have to shop, sometimes it's still worth the time and effort versus constantly doing $3, $4, $6 orders on DoorDash or Uber Eats.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys. Go ahead.
It all boils down to entitlement, bro. Everybody thinks that they're worth fucking millions, and they ain't. And that's what they need to realize. And these customers aren't here to make you millionaires. You got basic ass bitch customers that don't want to tip. You got some good ones. Yeah, well, it is what it is. And when you're fighting 2 million other dashers out there, or however many are in your market, there's only so many good things that are going to be handed out. And you got to understand that. And people don't understand that. They think every delivery should be $30, and that's what I need to make because I'm the greatest McDonald's fucking delivery guy out there, and it's not the fact. That's why I always say dashers and gig workers are their own worst enemies. They cause more issues for themselves than the apps will ever cause. Dead ass.
But a lot of other people seem to have the problem of they're making millions, so why not share some of it with me? But they don't recognize that if they started sharing their money, they would do all kinds of stuff. Because a rich person's not going to give you a job. A poor person's not going to give you a job. Only a rich person is. And if you ain't helping them make as much money as possible, they don't want to give you a job most of the time. In any line of work.
And then you run into these people. They watch Pedro. Pedro's in a good market. Your market determines everything. I don't care what anybody fucking says. Your market dictates everything that you make. Yeah, you could have 35 apps on your phone. Your market's still going to dictate how 35 apps work. And that's the thing. They come to the channel, they see Pedro popping off $3,000 a day or whatever the fuck it is, and they think, "Oh, I can make that." And then it just don't work that way. People just don't understand it, man.
But even in some of the best markets, I can't imagine people doing very well on DoorDash, even in some of the world's best markets, unless you're just that one random dasher who's getting like constant like 20s and 40s all the time. I mean, most markets, because I've driven in like 9 different markets, I've seen the types of orders generally largely the same. A ton of $3, $2, $6. Like, how is anyone supposed to make decent money constantly doing that, plus driving and all the gas?
Well, I think we got to remember though, St. Louis. Yeah, I think I've worked in only a couple other markets. I think St. Louis is pretty good because I've been doing it long enough and realize. You learn your market, you know what's good, what days are better than others. But at the end of the day, like, I think market does dictate your earning potential. But I know there are St. Louis drivers in my same market working the same days, the same zone, and they're not doing as good as me. So I do think there's some difference. It's not always market, because I've seen content creators in Florida saying they're killing it. And other content creator in Florida, I only made $500 this week, and they're in the same exact market.
But are they doing the same thing, such as multi-apping? Because I've noticed even in some of the better markets, some of those people that say they're doing really bad, they're not multi-apping a lot of them, or they're trying to get that one or two apps to work for them.
Yeah.
But what is multi-apping, man? What is multi-apping? Is multi-apping running DoorDash, staying platinum on DoorDash, and also running Uber in the background and waiting for Uber to throw you a good offer? Is that what multi-apping is?
No, it's having as many apps as possible, and so that you can get access to higher volume order. So you might say, for example, be on 7 apps at once, say like Instacart, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and when you get a really good order, if you know your market going up, you might be able to stay on the other apps and wait for another one, or you just start shutting all the other apps off to go get another order. It's more about being on as many apps as possible, so you can
if anyone's making 200 to 250 a day, they have one app as an anchor. One app as an anchor.
I guarantee you, unless your market's that good, probably not, because I make well above that, but I can only do that for multi-apping. Even the best app, I can't do that in one day.
No,
it's almost impossible.
Wait. You can't. Excuse me. You can't make 200 to 250 a day.
Not doing one single app. It's impossible. I have to multi-app.
What I mean by an anchor is that you give and take. You choose an app to give and take with. And for everyone right now, it's DoorDash. That 80% ridiculous AR. Yeah. Everyone uses DoorDash as an anchor, bro. You go to any market, no DoorDash order sits outside for too long, bro. Everybody's drinking the juice. And then they talk about multi-apping like keeping Uber Eats on, and as if like that's like their number one thing. Because here's my thing, man. What the next step is going to be is I want to see people come out the woodworks and start talking about this and that about Uber Eats. Because Uber Eats right now, you know what Uber Eats is? Uber Eats is when you double dirty stack. When you take one DoorDash and you take 2 Uber Eats going in the same direction, and then you're over here like, I just made $35 in an hour and this and that. Yeah, really, what I think is going on, and I think what's going to be the sad truth, the inevitability of a lot of these companies is they're going to start enforcing their minimum. I'm convinced. I have a theory that these apps throttle you after a certain amount. So
Uber's already going to do it because they're already testing this out. So for Uber Eats specifically, they're already going to do it. But what I'm saying is, what is multi-apping going to become when on Uber and on DoorDash, company wide, behind the black curtain, everybody that has a certain tier is making at a minimum is only making 20 to 25. If you take a catering order that's $300 worth of tip, it's going to even out at the end of the week. They're going to start sending you the nonsense unless you want to lose your tier.
Let me answer your question, AMC. Go ahead, man. You go first. Go ahead. Go.
Well, what I was going to say is to answer what Monkey was saying a little bit, to go off of that. I don't know. It depends on know-how and mindset as well. I keep saying this. I'm an advocate for DoorDash. I've said this 1,000 times. I make all my money on DoorDash. This apartment I'm in right now, the car I drive, I pay all my bills with DoorDash. Okay. So what I'm saying is, I get it, and to make 200, then I understand why you have a problem. I make 200 a day, bro. Like 200 or better. Or that's my goal. And like I said, it takes me a little longer, but. Multi-apping is where it's at as well. When AMC was talking about multi-apping, I feel multi-apping is like he was saying, you're maximizing your opportunity for bigger opportunities. So it's like I have 3 of them open at the same time: Instacart, DoorDash, and Expedite. So all I'm doing is just trying to get the biggest one out of all of them. So since Instacart is a no AR, I leave that on. I just wait. I don't care where I'm at. I look, I keep watching it. I don't care. Or $10 for 1 mile. I got it. 1 item. Oh yeah, let's do that. You know what I mean? That's fast. You know what I mean? $12 liquor store, 2 items, 2 miles. Oh, we finna get that. I'm gonna snatch that up. So that's what I do, and I don't take anything less than $10 off of Instacart. So that's all I'm saying.
What happens? What happens when everyone on Instacart is priority?
And
Well,
it's like no one's
Instacart,
priority.
it changes every quarter basically.
Every
So
3 months.
people will drop off of diamond and down to gold or gold. It's very fluid. So I think I don't think that's as important as we think it is. But I want to talk about multi-app in a little bit because we throw that word around, and AMC talked about, oh, is it just when you're having an Uber Eats and then you got a DoorDash at the same time, and I made $35, and Mindset's talking about how he does it. I think multi-apping to me isn't just having a whole bunch of phones on your app, right? And just saying, oh, I'm multi-apping because I have these opportunities. For me, to get to the level of multi-apping where I think we should be is you should have as little amount of downtime as possible. It doesn't mean you
Yeah.
take trash, but it means
True.
you have all these apps, and I don't think you can have on more than 4 or 5 at a time. It's really difficult. I've tried, right?
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
basically taking the one that is the best for you. But multi-apping also means I got a catering app, so I got pre-planned orders. I can build my day around it. I know my market, so on Tuesdays, Instacart's not good, so I'm gonna pull out. So I'm gonna do a little bit more roadie this day, or I got an Uber Eats promotion on a Wednesday, so I'm gonna do more rideshare or whatever that day. I got a DoorDash promotion on Thursday. It's about being that fisherman in the pond or the lake, and you've got 6 different fishing poles with different kinds of bait out there, and you know which part of the lake that fishing pole needs to be in to catch the best order, the best fish. So it's
Yeah,
not
but
like
there's
taking
a
all these orders at once and having an apps on. Like you have to know what app to have on, which app to turn off. I think multi-apping is also if you accept the Uber Eats for $10 and you realize Uber gives you a cancellation rate, a little bit of leeway there, right? And you just got a $60 Instacart. Oh no, I'm gonna cancel the Uber Eats if it's gonna take me too long because I want to get the $60 Instacart. So it's about that as well. It's not just having the apps and then just turning them on at the same time. I think there's a game within the game, and I think when you learn that, you can go from 20 to 25 an hour, 25 to 30, 35 to
see,
40.
see here's my thing. Here's my
That's how
thing,
I look
brother.
at it.
Here's my thing, though, man. All right, everybody's platinum on DoorDash, bro. So platinum essentially doesn't exist anymore.
I don't
There's no
think
such
so,
thing
man.
as platinum. There's
I don't
no
think
such thing as
everybody's platinum.
platinum. You don't think everybody? I mean, the majority of people are platinum on DoorDash.
Because
I think full timers. I think the majority of people doing it full time are. I
because the
think part
most
timers
if
are not.
everybody was platinum, it would be less complaining. Think about it.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you are on
No,
your
it's not, dude. The complete
end of the day-
opposite.
at the end
The
of the
complete
day,
opposite, dude. The complete opposite. If everyone is platinum, that
At the
means
end of the
everybody's
day,
picking up every single order that comes out of the market.
nothing.
But
That means
that's not how
everybody
people
would be
do it.
complaining.
At
That's
the end
not
of
how
the
people
day-
do it.
At the end of the day, all that shit means nothing. You're at the mercy of the customers, and the customer.
And
That's
the
it. You're at the
algorithm.
mercy of the customers. So you could be platinum all you want. Doesn't mean you're not going to get $3 orders.
You're not at the mercy of the customers, Roy.
You are at
Absolutely
the mercy of the
not.
customers.
You are
If
at the
you don't have
mercy of an
customers-
algorithm, and that's the
If
point
you
I'm trying to
don't have
make.
customers- bro, if you don't have customers, you have no orders, bro. You are at the mercy of the customers.
Of the company.
No, the
The
customer.
company. I was gonna ask
It doesn't matter
Pedro.
if customers
I was
order
about
it,
to
though,
ask.
the algorithm
Excuse
doesn't want
me.
you
I
to
was
order.
gonna ask. I was about to ask Pedro. I had a question for Pedro. I want to ask Pedro something.
See, that's the
I want to
thing.
ask Pedro something. Pedro, you talked about a fishing pond having 7 poles in the fishing pond.
Mhm.
What if you're too far down the river? And the whole idea is to have each rod closer upriver, because there's one guy that's right there. There's 30 guys that have priority on Instacart and they're sitting in a parking lot.
Mhm.
There's 40 guys that have platinum on DoorDash, and there's 50 people on diamond priority on Uber Eats. How do you multi-app then? You can't just leave Uber Eats on because it's not going to send you a good offer. You can't just leave Instacart on because it's not going to send you a good offer unless you're prioritized. Unless you're sitting in the parking lot with all the other people.
I disagree. I think if you mentioned anchors, like I think most of us have an app, one app or two that's the majority of your money each week is coming from right now.
That's
My
the
number one
anchor,
is
yeah.
Instacart. My Instacart's my anchor right now, and then the catering might shift a little bit this season, but I have a 1% AR on Uber Eats. Okay, I did a $47 Uber Eats run with a 1% AR. So when you leave Uber Eats on, it will feed you stuff like that occasionally.
Why do
7
you
times
think
a
that
week.
happens? Why do you think that happens, Pedro?
Because
you just
no,
happen to be the one in line to get it.
I happen to
That's
be.
how it works.
Yeah, they sent it to me. I don't know because
I
it
don't
was
think so. I don't think so. I think what Uber Eats is doing, and I tested this myself. I think what's going on is, see, I ran Uber Eats for a whole day for 8 hours straight, and I only took one order, and then I turned it off. That means for 8 hours straight, I only made $5. What do you think happened on Friday?
They fed you.
What do you think happens every weekend? When I leave Uber Eats on the whole week, right, from Monday to Friday, what do you think happens bang on the weekend? Oh, it's time to feed this guy, right?
It's time to feed that guy.
Not necessarily. You're talking weekend. You're talking.
I
more
think if
people
you, I think if you looked at all the active time, I think if you looked at all the active time throughout from Monday to Friday, this is just like theory. This is theoretical because I can't, I don't know these company secrets. I don't know how they. I'm not sure, but I'm just making assumptions. But it makes logical sense.
It's a people thing.
If I spent Monday to Friday making what $3 an hour or $2 an hour, and then the weekend hits and I actually start feeding the algorithm, it's going to automatically bump me into that priority. And that's what's been going on with Uber. Now, here's the thing. I have a situation in my market currently with DoorDash where every order, dude, DoorDash orders don't sit. Everyone's drinking the juice and it's aggravating. I can't take it no more. It's aggravating. I can't deal with it, bro. Everybody, they pick up an order if it's $3, if it's $1, if it's 50 cents. But here's my thing, dude. If DoorDash gives me $20 in 40 minutes, what do you think the next thing I'm going to do is?
I don't know.
Pause it.
Oh, you're saying pause it because you know they're going to send you a low order.
Pause it. Exactly. So then, you know, if I pause it, I say, no, you're not going to send me a $5 to take 20 minutes right now. If I pause it and I have another priority app, if all my apps are all prioritized and I know exactly when to turn one on and when to turn one off. I know when to feed one and when not to feed one. That's multi-apping.
Well, I mean, I agree on some level because I'm up at the top of I'm diamond on Instacart. I have the 4 emeralds on catering, and I just had 2 really good weeks. Like I think on some apps, the priority or programs, if you know how to work them, work to the benefit. On others, they're not as weighted as heavy. And it's up to us as independent contractors to know your market and know what apps you want to play the game with. And I do that.
That's right.
It works.
True.
You know?
True.
Hey, I want to introduce Chief to the show. Thanks for waiting, man. What do you got on your mind? Have you heard the topics tonight? Talking about people celebrating DoorDash's stock failure and wanting them to not have success. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
He just bounced.
But the
Bring him back.
Monday through Friday, you're not getting good Uber Eats order than Friday and Saturday and Sunday. They're giving that's bullshit. That's because more people order on the weekends.
No, Roy, it's not. No, Roy, dude.
Come on, bro. It exactly is that, bro.
Dude, it's not that. Dude, I'm telling you. When you go for a tier,
you're not telling me nothing, bro. I've been doing this shit for a long fucking time, bro.
You're not doing it anymore. Are you doing it? Are you doing it anymore?
And I work in the restaurant industry, bro. I know what are the busiest days of the week. Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. You're going to get a gazillion more orders Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. First of all, paydays fall on Fridays, Saturdays, the weekend. They're always going to be heavier.
Listen,
give you better orders. No, that's not how it works.
I tap into Uber during the weekend because I know the volume is there. I understand that the volume is there. So I can decline and get what I want right after. And I could climb that AR.
I think we also have to realize these Uber specifically, I think I'm saying it right. They do a really good job of sending out, we'll call them, for the lack of better terms, promotions, coupons, email blasts to their customer base at certain times of the week. And what I found in St. Louis, Thursday and Friday are good Uber Eats days with volume, right? Because they're sending out emails to consumers and notifications, because I get notifications heavier on certain days of the week because I'm an Uber Eats customer. Try this new restaurant, 30% off, $40 off your shop, you know. And if they don't do that on Monday and Tuesday, I'm not going to see as many opportunities as a driver. But if they send that information out to the consumers on the weekend or whatever, I'm going to see more opportunity. So there's something to be said for the different order flow. And to Roy's point, yeah, the weekends are generally going to be better. But another thing that we have to consider, and we have no control over this, the amount of competition and drivers that have the apps on in your marketplace at any given time. If you've got 100 people with the Uber Eats app on a Tuesday, right, versus only 20 on a Friday that have the app on when you're working, you're going to feel busier on a Friday and you're going to see more because there's less drivers. So I think there's a lot of factors that we don't control, and it's hard to know. Like, you know, I think we could say, I think I know this, I think I know that, and there could be some truth there, but it's hard. We're all just kind of guessing sometimes.
Oh,
But
my,
you know, it's
when
for me, it's like I see the ebbs and flows of volume. But if you got 4 or 5 apps, it shouldn't matter because one's gonna hit every day more than the other, and then the next day it might be
Dude,
Uber, the next day it might be
listen.
DoorDash.
The opposite side of this theory is that I actually consistently pick up orders throughout the week. Okay, I consistently like all right, dude. I'll go for Diamond on Uber, which there for some reason or another there isn't one YouTube channel talking about Diamond on Uber, which I believe is where the money is right now. Believe it or not, but that's a different discussion. If I pick up orders consistently the same way I do with DoorDash throughout the week, and it's market dependent and all this stuff, no doubt. I'm more than positive that when that Saturday, that Friday, and that Sunday comes in, I'm still going to be locked in at that $25 an hour because it's looking at my entire weekly earnings. But if I keep it on long enough throughout the week and don't work and don't actually pick up offers, I would make more in the weekend. It would push me up in the priority. It would give me the offers that I want. That's just my theory.
There could be something to that. I don't know. I don't work enough Uber to know, and it could be. But I want to introduce Chief to the show. Chief, welcome back. What do you think about the topic at hand? What do you got on your mind tonight, brother?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you happy birthday, brother.
I
was
appreciate
late
that.
because I was working. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think Roy touched on this as well as mindset. We all know it's market dependent, no matter what your marketing is. Like for me, I got the ability to be in 2 different markets. So I'm in Kentucky, small town, but then I'll be in Cincinnati, big city. So I'm seeing it from both ends. And to be quite honest with you, I have come to find out I like doing the small town because the distances is not as far. And when I do travel long distances, the pay tends to be a little better. But I mean, overall, as far as people being happy that DoorDash is down, first of all, DoorDash ain't going nowhere. I mean, it has become a staple of this generation. Like they've coined the term, I'm gonna get something dash. Even if they're getting some Ubered or they're getting something else, I'm gonna get it just dash from my front door. They're not even using DoorDash, but it's become that much of a staple. For myself, for the longest time, and you know, I only had DoorDash. Nobody else would even touch me because of my previous driving record. And then I got Grubhub, instant game changer. And I'm only running them 2 apps in a market that's highly oversaturated. Like I'm in Kentucky, these people ain't got nothing else going on. Everybody's platinum. Everybody's door dashing. I've seen grandmothers. I've seen young kids. Yeah, I'm telling you, I've seen couples. Like literally every facet of life is door dashing. But I don't concern myself like it's like a race. I focus on my lane. So when I'm talking to these people, and I know most of my market is platinum because you can't even get on my market. I had dropped down to silver like a couple weeks ago because I just got tired of it and was declining a bunch of stuff. And I went back to platinum instantly. I'm like, bro, I didn't see an order for like a day and a half.
Wow.
So I know that you got to be platinum. But when me having Grubhub, I have only increased my earnings. Like the first month with Grubhub, I probably did like 400 or 500. Second month, 800. This past week, and I don't even like discussing my numbers. Like I'm from the 80s, so I don't believe in telling people how much you make. But for the sake of this channel, and I love this community, this week, when everybody said, oh, the shutdown is affecting everything, I had my highest grossing week this week since I've been driving. Over 1,500 this week.
Nice.
Ooh,
But
sweet.
and it was mostly DoorDash and some Grubhub. But
And
it's
that's what I
because
was
I got a
saying. The
system in
platinum,
place.
they were saying platinum. The platinum, I feel as though everybody being platinum is not a problem, because even when you get the platinum, it depends on what you take, when you take your
Exactly.
positioning. It depends
Exactly,
on
because
all
platinum
these
doesn't.
other. Just because I'm platinum, or just because you become platinum, does not mean you're making money, or does not
Not at all.
mean that you're you're doing the most. I get it. You guys are saying that people are eating up, by everyone being platinum, you have to take more. And I get it. But like I said, it all depends on positioning. I tell people this. Some people don't know to pause the app and go back what it was. Some people just let the thing tell
Well,
them what to do. Some
no,
people
that's
just
a fact.
let it. I'm just being honest. Some people are platinum because they're just taking every order everywhere.
No, I'll tell you to piggyback off of that. I was
Those are
in
my favorite
Dashmart the other
drivers,
night.
bro.
You get me? So
Listen,
I'm
Those are my
I'm
favorite
I'm a
drivers.
so I'm just explaining, like, you're saying people are platinum, but it's not the same level of platinumness.
I
True.
agree with you. I agree with you.
I
My point
agree.
being, I was in
I
Dashmart the
agree.
other night. I done walked in there, about 10 dashers. I'm like, how long y'all been here waiting? 15, 20 minutes. I said, y'all tripping.
Mm,
Unassigned the
right.
order, dropped it, went and did 2 orders. It was like one $7 for a mile. The other one was like 20 for 5 miles. I got another dash mart. I came back. Them same people was still sitting in there. I'm like, no wonder I'm making more than y'all.
That's
Like, y'all
crazy.
is doing it. Y'all platinum, but y'all platinum and y'all done with it.
I'm
Like,
so
if I'm
I'm
gonna be
telling you, man,
platinum,
Chief, I
bro.
think
It's
there
an
are some
epidemic.
people. Hold up, AMC. I think there's some people, especially newer, right? Because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. They think when they sign up for these apps, they don't realize that they can cancel sometimes. They think that they're like they have to. I accepted it. I gotta take it, and they don't realize like you can move
no, and
different. They don't know
you 100% right. Because I even told them, I said, y'all do know if you stay over here more than 10 minutes, you get a worry free on the sign. But some of them were just like, yeah, but I don't know if I'm gonna get nothing else. There's no way I could have did that.
Oh.
Like, I'm out of
Mm.
here. I then came back, then I went and made another. I wound up making 50 in like an hour and a half, and that was it. The rest of the night was just shot, so I wound up turning it off. But my point being is it's all about how you strategize. See, people talk about actually I was arguing with somebody on one of your videos, Pedro, and they're
Mhm.
gonna sit there and tell me the gig economy is not important to the economy. I said it's a
No,
$1 billion industry.
it's very
Like it's a
important.
multi-billion-dollar industry. What are you
It's
talking
the
about?
biggest. The gig economy work, food delivery, and it's bigger than just food delivery. It's the biggest
Exactly.
growing sector of people coming and going in and out and entering it than anything else. Traditional work has become gig work, and that's the future. 10, 15 years from now, the majority of the workforce will be 1099 gig work. I guarantee it.
Absolutely.
I
Well, you
believe
think
it. I
10,
believe
15 years ago, we didn't have this opportunity. If you wanted to get some money, you wanted in a job, you had to hustle. No matter what your hustle was,
It
you
was
had to
different.
go
Yeah.
hustle, go figure something out. So for us that's old enough that remember that time that grew up in the internet that was there when it was dial up, this is a cakewalk. That's why people complaining about this
Mm.
is like almost laughable at a point because it's like you don't have to do it. You can go get your W-2. You can go however
Yes,
you get your
yes,
income. There's nothing
yes.
it.
wrong with how you get it.
That's the
But if
only
you're
thing.
going to do this and you have them, that's why like what mindset Manny be saying, like you got to have the mindset of a business owner. You got to have,
True.
if you hustled, you got to have a mindset because all you got to do is provide a car and provide a way to get around, and you're going to be able to make some money. We came up
Yeah,
in the
let
era
me
where
ask y'all
like you
something.
have to
Let,
figure it out. So you
let me
can't
let
be
me
mad if it throttles you or if it does that. That's part of the game. But what are you bringing to the
Adapt,
market? What
adapt.
innovation are you bringing to the market to be able to say that you're worth this amount of pay?
You feel me?
let me ask y'all something, man. If you're making $20 to $25 an hour, right? What stops you from getting a job?
No, none stop me from getting a job. I actually, even with the amount of money I made, because I done spent so much in car repairs, I'm starting UPS this week part-time. Just to have some extra income because it's seasonal.
And I work a W-2 delivery job, and I make well above 25 an hour.
You see? So it's again, it goes to strategy. How are you strategizing? How are you positioning yourself? Because two people can be doing the same thing and have two entirely different results.
Yeah.
Well,
in the same
well,
market, working the same hours.
well,
It's just
I do
hard for me.
numbers.
It's just hard for me
I
to
do
justify
numbers.
doing this if I was making the same amount of money I'd be making at a
See,
job, guys.
and
That's
and
all.
and and
That's
that
the reason why I'm asking, because there's a lot of people that have this mindset, that have a mindset of like running a business and all this stuff, and I critique it because I'm like, all right, if you're running a business, like your highest priority is to make the most amount of profit in the shortest amount of time. It's not to
100%.
play a game and not to strategize and not be subjected to one application. Right?
No, I know, and I agree with
but
you. And I said this. My fault, man. I'm gonna let you go. But and I said this. I said if
it's
I ever
numbers,
get to the
man.
point where I'm making the same what I was making out of the warehouse, then I'm going back to a W-2 because it
Yeah,
financially doesn't make any
yeah,
sense.
that
But
Yes.
it's
makes sense.
also
But
numbers as
I
well.
have doubled what I was making.
People don't
Mhm.
understand his numbers too, and I keep saying that. Like he keeps every time someone does that, it sends chills up my. Oh, if you at a job and you do, listen, bro. And I keep telling people this: the stores that we work at or work for or whatever, the places that we pick up this, they don't make the same money every day neither. They don't make biggest profits every day either. They
That's
have
right.
lower days too.
Yeah.
I know a guy at a GNC. I know a guy owns a GNC right in the area where I work, and he closes early some days because he ain't making money.
Yeah.
Okay,
The market's gonna
so
dictate your
so
value.
what I'm saying to you guys is it's not just about the amount of money. It's about the total. It's about the numbers. Yes, you keep speaking on like $20 to $25 an hour. Yeah, that's pretty much how much I make, $20 to $25 an hour. But there is 24 hours in a day. Okay, this is 24 hours in a day. Now you guys don't want to work. I work. Okay, then there's not 5 days in the week. There's 7.
Well, my worth
So
as
that's
far
all.
as my work, the way I look at it when it comes to gig workers, if you can go out to the W-2 world and get a job that's worth $25, $30 an hour, I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Until then, and if you're currently making $25 to $30 an hour doing gig work, and you can't find that same work because you don't have the skills as a W-2 worker, just be fucking happy with what you're making. Quit bitching all the fucking time.
Exactly.
You live a much happier life.
Hey man, I'm not complaining, brother. I'm just trying to make some logic out of this situation. That's all, bro. But you won't hear me complaining about earnings, baby.
Well, you're
and you won't see me. You won't see me working somewhere anytime soon.
I think we got to remember though too. Listen, guys, we got right now we got various different. We're all in different markets with different cost of livings. We all also have different responsibilities. Some of us have children, some don't. Some of us are married that do gig work. Some are on Social Security, so they just do this on the side. So if Chief is making 25, right? Okay, and that's good for his bills and his goals. Maybe that's not enough for AMC. Maybe that's not enough for Lynn. So people come to this part-time, full-time. So the dollar amount is a personal thing. Because there's somebody right now in the market and they just got fired from Taco Bell and they got their mom bought them a used car and you know what, do some DoorDash or whatever, and they're making $18 an hour and they're happy as fuck right now, right? But if I made $18 an hour, I would be stressed out, right? So we got to realize people have different goals and that's okay. So if somebody's happy with making 18 and they're gonna do this for the next year and save a little money because maybe they're living with their mom and they don't have rent right now, and their mom's like, I'm get a job, just pay me $50 a week and whatever, and you can save up money for an apartment. That person's on cloud 9. They don't have a job, they don't have a boss, they don't have a name tag, they can work in their pajamas, they got a car, they got a little bit of gas money, they can listen to podcasts and music, they got a hat on, they're chilling, they're making $18 an hour and they're happy as fuck. I think a lot of people that do DoorDash fit into that boat. I really do believe that, right?
Yeah.
And what I wanted to talk about is cars. I tell people and saying stuff like, "Oh, it's depreciating my car," and "Oh, my car." This once you become a full-time, or once you start doing this, your vehicle is a tool. So all of that depreciating, you got to make that decision before you do. Do I want to depreciate my car? I have a Prius. I do not look at the miles, not one bit. I don't give a shit how many miles is on my vehicle because it makes my living. and I'm not looking to sell it to nobody else but another person that's going to be doing what I'm doing with it. So the only person I would sell it to would be another gig person that would say, "Oh, a Prius." Other than
Nah,
that,
it's funny you say that because the same situation I'm in, like my car, I put over $5,000 in repairs in it. It's in the shop right now. It's been in there the last couple of weeks. I've been utilizing rentals. Now, I say that to say, if my business wasn't having the numbers, I would have already went back and got a job. But not only have I enough to have the rentals covered, I've paid my mechanic as well. So the amount of money that I have made over the last couple weeks, just in the last couple weeks, by keeping the rental, more than justified the cost of the rental because I had made that plus double in order to maintain it. Now, if I was just at the W-2, I'd have been stressing about just how to get my car. I wouldn't have had the money for the rental. But because it is a tool and I know, hey, at the end of this day, I'm going to make that back. Whatever I spend on that, I need to make that back within a 24-hour time frame. That way, the rest of the week is all extra money that I can use.
I said it there before. You have to make your vehicle worthy. People
100%.
just jump out here. People think, "Oh, I'm gonna get this old car." You gotta go make sure it's drivable, it's worthy to be on the road. People are just jumping out here. You want to bring a new car, you got car payments, and then you want to bring a new car out here. You killing yourself. There's a strategy to this. You cannot just like I did. I had my Prius, but I spent $2,500 on my Prius before I brought it out there. I changed the brakes, the tires, the oil. I did a tune-up. What else I did on that dang car? You get what I'm saying? But I made sure that the car was worthy.
Instead of paying somebody else all that money, why didn't you learn to do it yourself to save you more money?
No, I'm just explaining that either you do it or some, I get it, you can, but I'm just explaining that you can't just go, "Oh, I'm gonna take my car out here," and you hear it going, you better go get that fix. You know what I mean? People just think you can just do this. It's a strategy behind it because you'll put yourself in a hole quick. People tell, "Oh, car repairs. Yeah, because you didn't make sure your car was worthy. You did not do that. You just jumped out here on the road and now your brakes bad. And now you got to go buy brakes instead of going to get your brakes fixed first. Oh, now your transmission don't go on. Why? Because you ain't checked."
And that's called the cost of doing business. And I know Pedro and Roy, they can remember like the times that we came up in. Roy for sure is like, this is one of the easiest paths I've ever seen to be able to call yourself an independent contractor or to be able to make money on your own.
Independent employee.
Right. I hear you. But my point being in that you can go out.
You gonna start me up.
You can legit go out, make some money, and you don't have to check in with nobody. You can get it in at the end of the day, because doing that in the early 2000s and stuff, it was a whole different scene. It was a lot different than just hopping in your car, going to make some deliveries and getting some cash at the end of the day.
True.
Yeah.
When you come from watching the world have changed and seeing how much technology has improved, it's also hindered, but it's improved. You should be able to take advantage of the marketplace.
Well, I want to mention something real quick. So, a lot of us like to give the apps trouble and crap. I do it, like it is what it is. The one thing about this kind of work, and to Chief's point, we didn't have this years ago. People were getting pizza and Chinese delivered, but it's way different game now, right? If you got some short-term or even we'll call them short-term money situations, goals, whatever, or stress. If you got a W-2, depending on the field you're in, you might not be able to just get whatever hours you want, right? And how many hours. They might take 30 hours. They might cut your schedule, only 40. Yeah, you're getting time and a half when they need you to work. With this kind of work, you can work endless amount of 7 days a week, 12, 15 hours a day, and stack your money to pay for whatever you got coming up. You can't do that in most other
exactly.
Most other work. So
exactly.
I'll be selling gig worker t-shirts soon, y'all. It's gonna say 25 hours a day, 8 days a week.
But to that point, how I
I ain't
got
buying one of
introduced to
those.
gig work. How I got introduced to gig work was through a W-2. I was working that mid shift, that shift that don't allow you to go get an extra job because I was working from 10 to 6. You can't really go get a second job. You get it because you can't get
Yeah.
enough sleep. You get me? That was
Yep.
so I had to figure it out. And I was like, dang man, what I'm gonna do. So then I jumped. That's what made me jump into DoorDash. And when I did that, like you were saying, you said that quick money. I was only doing it for 2 hours a day after work. 2 hours. I was bringing home that little 40, 70, 80 bucks every day, putting in my check. That's $300 at the end of the week. I calculated that math. That was $1,200 extra a month, and I ain't did nothing. I went home every day. I got off at 6. I went home every day 9:30. Come on, and I made $300 extra a week, which equivalent to $1,200 extra a month in my paycheck. And then and that was just my regular days of work. And then it just snowballed. I started doing it on my day off. It went up, jumped up to $700 a week.
Yeah.
And then a football game came on in the weekend. I made $250 in a day, and I was talking to the people at work, going, "Yeah, man, I made $250 in one day." And then we work, and I looked at I only make $150 a day at my job, and they take taxes out of it. What am I doing? I jumped. I left. Salute.
I want to ask Roy a question, because I know Roy used to do ride share, right? And I don't know if you had a W-2 then or not, but I don't feel like you do any gig work now like you used to. You have the W-2. Is there a reason why you chose not to do gig, that you went back to a W-2? Was it because the gig work dried up, or do you ever see yourself going back to like doing some gig work? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there a reason why the change for you? Can you tell the audience?
Because I got deactivated because I got a criminal record. Because I ended up my story about when I punched the other Uber driver's car, that caught up to me.
Got it. So you
I
couldn't do ride share anymore.
I thought it was Antifa.
No, it's because I punched another Uber driver's car.
And so for you, because of the ride share stopped, you didn't want to do just food delivery because where you're at, you couldn't. That wouldn't pay you enough, right?
No,
yeah,
I did DoorDash for a while, but I wanted the more stability of having the job. So that's why I went to the job, because I wanted more stability. And as you get older, insurance is important.
Yep. I hear that.
It's important. So, it gave me more, plus paid time off. If you find yourself working 7 days a week, that's not a good life balance. I'm sorry. So
Roy, it sounds to me you got a good job though, man. I'm not being a dickhead about it either. That's solid, dude. If you're making good money.
When it comes to W-2, this is my thing when it comes to W-2 delivery. You want to go to Pizza Hut, you want to go to Domino's, look at your market. Look at where they're having opportunities for those jobs. I happen to work in a really good area because I deliver to all of downtown, lawyers' offices, courthouses, hospitals. So my area is kind of unique because I deliver to high dollar people. So my tips anywhere on a delivery can be anywhere from $10 to $25 on a $100 order easily all day long. So, 5 or 6 orders, I'm already popping $100 tips. And that's very little mileage on my car. I only put maybe 40 max on my car on a busy day. And I get paid. And once again, I get paid mileage. I get paid all that stuff through my W-2. I get paid my cell phone I get a cell phone stipend. I get all that stuff. So, I just happen to be in a good area that at a W-2. And I'm the only driver that works the hours that I work. I'm the only one. So everything comes to me. So I'm special like that.
Pedro, they got a monopoly out there.
Pedro, to answer your question though, man, it's like, the professionals, at least me, like a sniper, right? Like when I see something like a DoorDash stock market drop, $13 billion wiped off of the stock market, it's like you're talking to a guy like, dude, I just look at dollar amounts. It's like, how can we get to a more objective place where there isn't so much emotion pushed against it, right? Because, dude, there's times I feed DoorDash and then I punish DoorDash, and I still maintain platinum. And it's like, because I know my market. Like I've been doing it for like 5 years, the same market. And you know, when you see people go after, you know, a company or its workers, and what we've seen recently on TikTok, people talking about I don't tip and this and that. I mean, these things work themselves out. And what's important is that that people that do this professionally, you know, there has to be a degree of professionalism. We need to all come together and say, like we're, you know, we're contractors. You know, we have to be objective about these kind of things. You know, and you know, there's no clapback. Like I see the TikToks, I see the Instagram posts about like, oh, I'll tip a penny. I've delivered a DoorDash order where I knew the guy only put a penny. You think it bothered me, bro? You think it keeps me up at night every day?
It bothers me.
It doesn't.
Tip me a penny, I'll give you $1 back in return. So,
Yeah.
It's like you know why it doesn't keep me up at night though, because I cleared like $300 on a fucking bike that day.
Sure, right.
Yeah, but
So
to me, it's
so
not
it's like we're what is it? The forest? What is it? The forest for the trees, right?
To me, it's not about the money. It's about the fucking respect. I risk my life and my property to bring you money. You want to tip me a penny? I'll give you $1.
I mean, for me, it's a cute bike ride down the block, bro.
Yeah, so
you want to tip me a penny?
It's even worse for you because you get splatted and get fucked. You know,
to each their own. Because if somebody tips me a penny, I'm turning that order into a YouTube video, and I'll make my money back by the video.
Hey, Pedro,
that's what I'm saying. You see, this guy's a sniper, bro. That's what I'm talking about. We gotta acknowledge that we're professionals. That, I mean, at least, you know, before you go out, you know which hours, you know how much money you can get out of a market.
Sure.
You know, we got to be better than these people, man.
The other day I was at IHOP, and I got an order in for like $2, and she ordered the same thing every day. And when I went in there, the waiter was like, "Yeah, I know her. She orders the same thing every day." So I'm like, this thing is going about 4 miles for $2. I'm like, what are you? Hold on. I had to pull a Pedro. So I got that. Say, when I got there, say, your name Keisha? Yeah. You could at least just tip $1. She gave me $2. She tipped $2 on the thing. I don't play. Hey, listen, what I'm telling you is sometimes it need to be said.
Nah, dude, you gotta kill him with. And Pedro knows all about this because the Applebee's training manual, bro. What does the Applebee's training manual instruct? Dude, you gotta kill him with kindness, bro. We're professionals, dude. I take no tip orders, and I smile in their face, and I hand them their food. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. Dude, but what else is gonna feed the channel though? You know, if we're here like angry about people that don't.
Yeah, I mean, my situation is definitely a little different because I do things I might not normally want to do because I'm gonna make content. It's either gonna be entertaining or I want somebody to learn from my mistakes. But my situation, I do things I don't necessarily would expect somebody else to do, or things to record just to give a perspective on something that somebody else might deal with a month down the line, you know. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, I'm with Roy though. Like for me, it's like if you're tipping a penny, it's just so disrespectful.
That's very disrespectful.
Yo, people, listen. Anybody listen to this? Anybody watching this right now? It's not disrespect. It's business, bro. Keep it pushing. Keep your head high. Don't get into your emotions. I'm telling you, man, it does nothing for you. It does nothing for you, man. Oh no, he tipped a penny, man. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna hit him back, bro. You're gonna hit him back with what, dude? You're walking away with $350 a day. God forbid I get a car out here, bro. My God.
I hit him back. When I send him DoorDash because I don't take no fucking penny.
I'd give him a kiss in the cheek. I'd freaking polish their shoes just to make the point. Just to make the point.
You do it once, but you won't do it to me a second time.
There you go, Lynn. Tell him, Lynn.
Don't drink the juice. Don't drink the juice, man. We are. Be the professional. Be ahead. Be on top.
I am a professional. I professionally am not going to have somebody.
And I'll tell you, AMC, that's why I keep a high acceptance rate to decline a $2 order, bro. I'ma just keep.
I run them up.
That's why I keep a
I
high
run
acceptance rate.
those $2 orders up, bro, on a bike. I run them up, bro.
Hell
I
no.
gladly run them up. And you know how much I still clear hourly? 25 to 30, bro.
Yeah, but you should be making 35 to 40 by not
Thank
spending
you.
$2. That's
And AMC, you did make a point
Thank
as
you.
far as the 13 billion getting wiped off. I wouldn't even worry about that. That's what you call market correction. Because yes, they had a very steep drop, but you have to look at how fast they rose since the pandemic. You're
Facts.
talking about billions over a few years, and not no petty stuff, billions. So when the market corrects itself and gives it the proper valuation, yeah, it's gonna look like it's a drop, but DoorDash is still operating in the black. Don't ever think that they in the red. Like we would know if that was the case. DoorDash is not going nowhere. It'll rise back up, but don't be so concerned about market correction. That's just part of the financial world.
I mean,
And for
think
all
about it
them
though, dude.
haters,
If you had a couple M's in the stock, and the company turns around, they're like, "Hey, man, we got to make some big investments. Like we got to drain a lot of cash. We got to liquidate like crazy." And you got a couple M's in there, and you got a price drop, right? So you set it at a price, and then if it goes lower than that price, you sell off, and then that's it. To some
You got
people,
to think,
bro,
see
a
that
price
short
stock
term
is
thinking. You got to think
what's
the
up?
long term. Yeah, it might drop some more, but I know with this innovation that I have coming, or with what I've put out
Yep.
there, it's going to
Yep.
bring it back up.
I mean,
Now
you sell at the
we're number
top.
one down there in grocery delivery. So them grocery deliveries, I mean, look at what happened. Everybody was stressed out because of the SNAP benefits and stuff. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, it was crazy. I had the best grocery week I've ever had in DoorDash this week.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
this is
made
a
take
the
good
the
week
most I
for
made in
I
everybody.
groceries
I
take
ever
think
this week.
everybody, because I even had a good
I
week
take
too.
I
This is a
take
good week.
I take the EBT grocery. I take them. I run them up.
I'm
You
never
sit it.
doing that. I'm
What
never
take
doing
market are
the
no
you in,
upside
AMC?
down for what?
EBTs.
AMC,
I
what
take the
market are you in?
$2. I
What
take
market
them,
you
bro.
in?
You using too much energy,
Hold on,
bro.
hold on, hold on.
AMC, what market you in?
Exactly.
Pause. Mr.BetonYou does not condone $2 orders. And a quick disclaimer on this channel: I am anti $2 just for the audience. But listen, I
Don't
want to
take me
say
off,
something.
bro. Come
I
on,
want to say
man.
something to Chief's point about the market, $13 billion. We got to remember something. When I hear rich people talk, people that own businesses, billionaires, $100 million people, CEOs, one of the top things that these guys talk about, these men and women with highly successful businesses, and DoorDash is a highly successful publicly traded entity, global. When money comes in, it goes right back out.
Right
They
out.
spend it and they reinvest. Autonomy, buying other corporations. So if it's a short-term 17% stock share cap hit, DoorDash is playing chess, not checkers. They
Yep.
realize, I don't want to keep all this money to ourselves. We need to reinvest, spend it out, and the shareholders might not like it, and the Wall Street might not like it for this quarter. DoorDash don't give a fuck about 2025, guys. They're thinking 2035 right now.
Mhm.
And big people that are business minded and CEOs and real estate moguls and all these highly successful people, money comes in, it goes right out. You spend it immediately, right? And that's what DoorDash has done, and that's why they have the market share. So,
Mhm.
all these people that are celebrating DoorDash is losing stock, like, to me, like I said in the beginning, that's anti-driver. I do not condone it. I think it's disgusting. I think I'm not gonna align myself with these big companies and like be pro whatever. Like I just utilize them and try to show you all an experience. But we do need them to be successful, because if they're successful, more of us can have success. So, them losing 17% and 13 billion, whatever the number was, like, it's not a big deal. They're not going anywhere. They're going to continue to grow. The market share is going to continue to grow. And, I just want to remind us of that as a community. Like, people that know what to do with money, when it comes in, you spend it, you reinvest in your business, because that's going to 10x you down the line. And that's exactly what they did this year, basically. So, I don't know. Just wanted to throw
Yeah.
that in because Chief Talk said something that kind of triggered my brain as to when I hear rich people talk, that's what they do. And that's what
Yeah.
DoorDash did. So,
Because for me, like
And
that's what I'm gonna
Manny,
do.
I
I'm
want
gonna
to
buy more
clarify.
shares of it. It's
And
called
Manny,
dollar cost averaging. You want it to
and,
go down. You want the market to take dips. That way, when it comes back up, that's your profit there. You
yeah.
never want it when you're investing. Because was in the investment world. You never wanted to go straight up. You don't want it to go straight up because then where will you get in? If it continues to go up, you're going to continue to buy at a higher price. You want those dips. You want those ebbs and flows because that's where you make the money. 75% of millionaires make their money in down markets.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, and I want to clarify.
Yeah,
I want to clarify. I have a.
They buy when it bottoms out, and then the price then it raises, but they put a lot more money when it hits the bottom, and then then it raises back up, and then they make their money.
Exactly.
And guys,
I mean,
I want to clarify too, man. Like a $2 order, $3 order is like a couple blocks from the merchant because I'm on a bike. I'm on a bike mode.
That.
It's not the same thing.
We know. We know.
We
know. We know.
Hey, listen, y'all.
I'd probably, if I saw a $2 order and I was in a car, I'd probably lose my freaking mind, dude.
Yeah. Listen, I appreciate y'all. We're coming up on a 2-hour mark. I'm gonna round the show out. I want to say special thanks to Monkey. He was on earlier. Manny, Roy, AMC, Lynn, always pleasure to see you. Chief Talk, thanks for coming back. I appreciate all the celebratory birthday wishes. Seeing some familiar faces in here. I appreciate y'all. Gentlemen, and Lynn, I appreciate you guys giving me some time tonight. I could be on here all hours clowning AMC about his $2 bike runs, but I don't want to do that to him anymore. But listen, I appreciate y'all for coming up and spending this Sunday evening with me. I'm happy to see you guys having a good week. Seems like everybody's in a great mood.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, appreciate you. Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thank you, guys.
This is a quick one for AMC. Being that he's got his new socialist mayor, he might be doing those bike runs for free.
Hey, Roy. By the way, I don't work in New York. I don't work in New York, guys. I don't work in New York.
You're good, then. Never mind.
I work in the Great Garden State. I work in New Jersey, guys. I don't work in New York.
Okay. You're lucky then.
All right,
I don't like minimum wages, man.
That's funny. All right. Hey, good luck tonight, man. I saw some friendly, familiar faces in the chat. If you were waiting, I didn't see, if you were wanting to come on and you weren't able to come on, maybe you can come on next time. Appreciate the super chats and the happy birthday wishes. I just had that on my mind. I just hear people talk about DoorDash in such a negative way, like they want them to fail, and they say it, and it's like, it bothers me. I'm not gonna lie, because I think as a community, as gig drivers, we should want the apps to be as successful as they could be. And if that means, sometimes we're gonna have bad orders and bad experiences. That's part of being an independent contractor. Like, it is what it is. If you're an independent contractor doing work in another sector of independent work, right? You want your sector to be good. You don't want it to fail. You want it to be around, and then you navigate your way through the good and bad opportunities, right? Nail Gal, what's up, girl? How you doing? Appreciate you for the $9.99. Appreciate you very much. I've been checking out your lives every once in a while. So we want the gig economy to stay. The stronger the apps are, and I get it. They do it on the backs of us sometimes. But we have to take the responsibility to navigate what we're willing to do and not do, what app we give our time to, which ones we put on the back burner, which ones we just don't do at all. But for anybody to be like happy that DoorDash is losing stock price and I can't wait for them to demise and it's the end, and that's bad for drivers. That's anti-driver. That's not pro-driver. I want all of us to eat and have as much success as we can. And I'm going to end with this because Gig Gal's in here right now, okay? It's Nail Gal. It was Gig Gal. Some of y'all might have known. She changed it to Nail Gal. She used the gig economy. I think she still does it a little bit here and there. You let us know in the comments. But she used that to help basically fund and jumpstart her own business that she does, I believe, in her home. And she's a nail tech, certified, went to school, got classified, and she showed that on the channel. Okay, that's somebody that bet on herself. And she's making money doing something that she seems that she loves to do. And she used the gig economy to do that. And if we don't have the gig economy and DoorDash fails, other people like Nail Gal might be able to do that next year. So like it's just crazy that we're like rooting for these companies to have failure. It's wild to me. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I was gigging today. Yeah, I know, but you don't do it as much as you did. At least I don't think you did, but hey. Oh, she made 175. So she's able to utilize it when she wants, but now she's also making money doing nails and stuff. Like, that's the sweet spot. That's great. That's where we should all be. Thomas, appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that very, very, very much. So I just, We want the apps to be around, man, and they're going to grow on us, but it's your responsibility to figure out your role within the apps, know how to play the role that you're comfortable with, stay in it for as long as you want, get out of it, get a W-2, do this part-time, do it full-time, stack your money, pay your debt down, whatever, however and whatever and however long you want to do it is up to you. But we need DoorDash to stay around. We don't want them to quarter after quarter, because this is what's interesting. If, let's just say, and this is not going to happen. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving advice. This is I believe strongly in this. But if the next quarter, the next 2 years, 8 more quarters in the next 2 years, if they took a 17% hit every single quarter for the next 2-3 years, DoorDash would be in trouble. And that would mean less opportunity for many of you. We don't want to see that. I want to see more opportunity for people. I want to see more people come into the gig economy to get themselves out of debt, pay for the kids for school, make ends meet. A lot of places are laying off workers, people losing their jobs. I want the gig economy to be strong for people to come into it when they need it. Most of this is a side hustle or a stopgap or in between for most Americans. And we need it to be as strong as possible so people have that safety net or whatever for when they need it. So I'll end with this. Anybody out there celebrating DoorDash's failures is disgusting and despicable to me. It's anti-driver. We need these apps to be successful in order for us to stay in them so we can be successful for ourselves. I hope that makes sense. I'm not some bootlicking person for DoorDash, but we need them to stick around. We want them to be good. We do not want them to go away. And I don't even do DoorDash anymore, but that's that's the final what I got going on. What up, Dre? How you doing, man? It's yeah. So I appreciate all the birthday wishes. Appreciate all the super chats tonight. That's almost a 2-hour show. That's a pretty good amount of time. I'm all hyped up, so now I'm gonna try to wind down. I got a couple catering orders on the books for tomorrow. Really grateful for that. Got some family time. I'm looking forward to seeing some family members I haven't seen in a while this coming up week. Really looking forward to that. Special shout out to my brothers, Jeff, Mark, Walter. Took me out for lunch today. Love y'all, man. Very, very, very much. I think 1 or 2 of them were in the chat tonight. It's been a really, really positive, good week. I'm always appreciative and grateful for those because you never know. Next week might be bad for personal reasons, for whatever reasons. Like, I'm just grateful to have another day. I'm making money, making videos, being around my girls, and just trying to make the best day that I can and doing the gig economy with that. And I'm grateful for that. And I don't like what all these apps do, but at the end of the day, I still choose to stay in them, and I want them to have success so that I can still have them as an opportunity. And anybody else out there that doesn't want them to be successful, what are you doing in a gig economy that's anti-driver? I'll see you guys in the next live.